working now. I'll let
Thank
you know
you.
when it's live.
Hold that thought for later, John.
Not a problem. Probably don't want it on tape.
All right, we are live.
Thank you, Donnell, and welcome everyone to 1 Million Cups. As I mentioned a few minutes ago, we're creating a little history. I'm at least proposing that our presenter today, Donnell Johns Jr., son of Donnell Johns, who everyone in this room knows, we're having an intergenerational session. And I don't know how many chapters have actually had a son present where a dad is, I believe, one of the founders, if not the founder of our chapter. So shout out to two really cool gentlemen. And Junior, sir, I don't know you well, but if you come from your father, you got to be pretty darn good. So welcome, everyone. I think everyone can read and check in to our 1 Million Cups mobile app. Check us out. Next slide. We want to get to the program, so this will be great. You know, we're all about entrepreneurship, community, and education. There's a new video that a bunch of people are featured in, you know, 5 or 6 chapter members, if you will, and each one had something different to say. And my comment was, I learned something every week at 1 Million Cups. So I look forward to Donnell Johns Jr. leading us in his presentation, all the great comments that each of you make to help fulfill the goals of 1 Million Cups. Next slide, please. The mission is simple. You can read it. I give you a moment, and then we can go to the next slide. I kind of just mentioned what it's all about. See the video. It'll now start appearing in our regular weekly communications and LinkedIn stuff. If you're not on our LinkedIn group, join our LinkedIn group. Next page, please. Yeah, very, very important. And I think everyone in the room today, good morning, Merlin. You're almost a veteran.
Good morning,
Great,
John.
great to have you. And
Thank
these
you.
are our pillars.
Thank
There are
you.
no pitches, you bet. There are no pitches. I've built authentic connections. And this is run for the community, by the community. This is your group. And we'll come to this theme later in our program, but we need new organizers. So if you're interested and you're not currently an organizer, we'd love you to become more involved in the leadership of our chapter. Next page, please. So we are safe and supportive. We don't really allow people to badmouth. We don't really experience that, or one-up other people in the room. So we're co-owned, as I mentioned earlier, by all who show up. All you have to do is step up. So inclusive is important to us. We really welcome people of all sizes and shapes, as long as you believe in the pillars that have been set out that really drive our culture. We are volunteer-led. Rotate, that's an interesting idea. I'm looking forward to being rotated. We need more organizers, right? Rotate, right. We need to fuel our presenter pipeline. And as you know, or will learn, we have a group of ambassadors trying to focus directly on this because the organizers' plates are all full already. We're all juggling balls already. Next slide, please. So how you can be involved. Please join us on Facebook. Provide feedback in the Zoom chat room. read the weekly information, weekly emails with information and presenter bios. Go to our LinkedIn page. Be involved in our community. Next page. This is a great new slide. I hope everyone likes it, but this is where you can find us. And the more active folks are on LinkedIn, as an example, the more followers we'll get. Next slide. So many of our organizers are here, and each one will present. Those who aren't here won't present, but play an active role in what we do. So Donnell, hit it.
So I'm Donnell Johns, founder of Veterans Growing America. I'm the brand ambassador for thirdconscious.com. As you can see, I have Third Conscious gear on today. My son is the presenter. I'm quite proud of him presenting today. He's a college graduate, bio pre-med degree, and just happy to be here today. I'm excited about this presentation.
Mayosha, good morning. You're still on mute.
Good morning. I am the founder of the Transformational Education Adventure Center. We are a leadership institute providing care for children from 1 month to 12 years in McLean, Virginia. I'm very happy to be here and support Donnell, actually one of the founders of the 1MillionCups, and his son, and all the new entrepreneurs.
Thank you, John. You.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Really enjoy being part of this fantastic group of organizers who are smart and very supportive of the local business community. As John mentioned earlier, if you like to be part of an organizer group and have fun at the same time, please feel free to encourage you to reach out to every one of us or one of us. Thank you.
You bet. Melinda.
I am Melinda Sigel, the Sales and Marketing Connection, and I really enjoy being part of this group and helping our presenters put their presentations together and get comfortable and get them excited about presenting and ready to field the questions. I'm behind the slides today, as I have been doing regularly, and I want to welcome everybody here this morning.
Rosemary.
Well, I think we have Ronetta too.
Yes, we do.
Ronetta in the room? You know,
Yes,
it's hard when
Ronetta.
Wow. Oh, yes. Hey, Ronetta. Great to hear your
Good
voice.
morning, everyone. And I am so excited this morning to be on the call and also to be an organizer for 1 Million Cups. But more importantly, I'm excited to be here to support Donnell Johns Jr. today and his new business venture as well.
Great to hear your voice, Ronetta. So,
Hi, everyone.
Rosemary, yeah.
Thank you. I'm Rosemary Savino with Gravitate. Wait, wrong arm. We power the organizer group here, and we'd be happy to power your organization as well, especially as you get into 2022 planning. I'm thrilled to be here today to hear about Donnell Johns Jr.'s business, as I am every week to hear about all the great entrepreneurs that we have, not just in the Northern Virginia, Fairfax County area, but throughout the country. And it's lovely to see a number of people who have presented to us in the past who are joining us today as regular members of our community. So thank you all.
Next slide, please. I saw perhaps at least John Foster and Dan Lender in the room. So at least two of our ambassadors are here. John, please say hello. You're on mute, sir.
I was hidden behind the screen. Hey, it's great to be here, everybody. John Foster. I am the ambassador for Green Fair Health and Wellness. And this is kind of be one of the best things that happens during the week, especially a Wednesday, the middle of the week. It is great to be with a wonderful group of people. And I am looking forward to hearing Donnell's presentation today.
Dan,
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dan Lender. I am the co-founder of Golden Rule Home Watch and Concierge. We take care of and manage vacant homes and properties in Northern Virginia. I guess the best way to describe our business is people that just spend time away from home. Professional athletes go somewhere for the off season, snowbirds who go south or west for the winter, and we have a lot of foreign service clients that have a home but live outside the United States. 1MillionCups is a highlight also of my week. I look forward to this every Wednesday, and I try to make it whenever I can, and it's just a great group. So thank you.
so the ambassadors are really important. They're very focused on building our pipeline of presenters. So we need presenters. If anyone in the room would like to present or know people who might be helped by the feedback delivered in the room, please suggest it and invite your friends or colleagues to a 1MillionCups meeting. It's that easy. Let them see for themselves another presenter and watch the interaction and the value of what's done in the room. Next slide, please. Thank you, ambassadors. We have two sponsors this morning, and I first turn to John Yu, and then I've lost him. Where is Paul Riley? Somewhere in this room? Oh, right there, right in front of me. Sorry. Yeah, okay, great. John, please introduce yourself again.
Thanks, John. So besides being an organizer for 1MillionCups, I'm also an owner of Office Evolution located right here in Tyson's Corner. We provide co-working and shared office space for small business in this area. We love partnering with 1MillionCups in particular and all the small business in our local community. We look forward to meeting in person, hopefully in the near future. Thanks, John.
You bet. And now introducing our newest sponsor, right? Paul Riley.
Thank you so much, John. Paul Riley with Atlantic Union Bank. I love the mission of what 1MillionCups is talking about. Entrepreneurs are so vital to our community, and the number one issue that a lot of the entrepreneurs I work with is they don't have a sounding board. They don't have a board of supervisors starting out. You don't know what you don't know. So I love the mission of this. So proud to be a sponsor and have loved getting more involved over the past year.
And thank you very much for your sponsorship to both of you. Next slide, please. So I think everyone in the room knows how the virtual meetings work. Please read it quickly. We'll advance to the next slide. I don't think there's any reason for me to read it. Much more important to hear from Donnell Johns Jr. Next slide, please. It's my pleasure, and I'm honored to introduce Donnell Johns Jr. And we all know Senior. And thank goodness there was a wife to produce Junior, so that he would have capabilities across all vectors. Sir, it's my pleasure to welcome you. The floor is yours.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, I want to thank everyone for being here. Thank you so much for just emitting the supportive and positive energy towards me. I can definitely feel it, and I'm so glad to be able to present. So let me deliver on what you guys are expecting. So today, my challenge question is, how do I determine what marketing strategies are most effective for this audience? And I will get into who my audience is in a little bit. You can go to the next one. So my business is called Third Conscience, and my tagline is Mind What You Manifest. This is a spiritual streetwear brand, just based in spirituality. And a lot of people, some people would begin to think about religion, but it takes a sort of a different approach, even though it also means that. You can go to the next one. So a little bit of a background. So Third Conscious customers, these are spiritualists. So a spiritualist to me is someone who just is a happy person, someone who strives every day to become their actualized self and shy away from all the constructs that the world might provide for us. My second layer of people are streetwearers. I'm very into fashion. So just people who like to dress well and who would want to emit a positive message with their clothing. A lot of people on their spiritual journeys begin around their 20s and 30s. So this is my acceptable market. Just people who are striving to be better. You can go to the next one. So the first product that began my business, I wanted it to be something very meaningful. So my business is based in spirituality. And so I decided to use these sacred geometrical shapes. They're called the Platonic solids. They were discovered by Pythagoras, and later Plato named them the Platonic solids. Each one has a lot of meaning to me, as well as in human culture. These 5 shapes are said to be the fabric of all life. So I wanted them to be the fabric of my business. First, from left to right, we have the tetrahedron, which represents fire. Then we have the octahedron, which represents air. We have the hexahedron or cube, which represents earth. Then we have the icosahedron, which represents water. And if you notice, these 4 are also indicative of our zodiac signs as well. It could be a fire sign, air sign, earth sign, water sign. And then finally, the 5th hat, which I'm wearing today, is the dodecahedron, which represents spirit or ether or universe. Below, you can see my website if you'd like to take a look at it while I'm speaking. I also have Instagram and a Facebook that you guys can take a look at as well. And go to the next one. So a little bit about my brand. These are my first collection of products. I call it Demons and Angels. And this comes from my brand meaning. So my brand is a third conscience. So I went based on human culture's representation of the conscience, which is the devil and the angel on your shoulder, giving you advice, trying to tell you what to do. But that's all that it is advice. So I went with Demons and Angels because you are the third conscience. At the end of the day, you are the one who decides what to do. You are not your good side. You are not your bad side. You're the one aware of them both and in control of them both. So I have a very extensive fall line. If you guys want to check that out as well, you can go on to the next one. So who are our competitors? Our competitors are different streetwear brands. So the top streetwear brand right now is Supreme. You guys might have heard of them. They started off as a skateboard company, and they began to gain popularity because of their exclusivity. Next on the list is Off-White. Off-White is also designed by a man named Virgil Abloh. Fortunately, he just passed away recently. I'm really upset about that, but I'm not gonna talk about it. He paved the way. He was the first Black-owned streetwear brand, and he collaborated with Louis Vuitton. He takes a very different approach to streetwear, and that's something that I want to do with my brand. Then we have Epoch and Another Perspective. These are 2 of my friends that have sort of got a good marketing strategy on my college campus, Hampton University. And they also have spiritual type meanings behind theirs. You can go to the next one. So what my organization provides is spiritual education. We provide metaphysical education, and metaphysical just means anything that is physical that represents spirituality, such as crystals. I have a few on my wrist right now. This is a sodalite. It's responsible for the throat chakra and communication. Also, a meaningful message. I try to just put the message that I've been taught my entire life by my parents, that thoughts become things, and everything starts within the mind. And then we also provide motivation. The market is missing spiritually based streetwear brands. A lot of the times you just see streetwear brands who don't really have a meaning. They just want to sell clothes. And I'm very different in that aspect. I want to get not only people fashionable, but people thinking white as well. Also street brands that offer education as well as spiritual awareness, which mine definitely does. If you would like to check out my website, my Instagram feed is on there as well. You can go to my Instagram. I have educational videos on all things spiritual that you can think of. You can go to the next one. So once again, I want to present my challenge question one more time so that's fresh in you guys' mind. How do I determine what marketing strategies are the most effective for my audience, which is spiritualists, streetwearers, and people's in their 20s or 30s beginning their spiritual journey? And that's all I got. Thank you guys for listening.
John, did you want to unmute?
Thank you. So a round of applause again. What a wonderful presentation. A++, sir. We welcome you as a new member to our community. That was great. With that, I'm going to introduce Mayosha Mendez, who is going to be our moderator for the Q&A session.
Donnell, that was really awesome. Love that whole idea. You know, it's wonderful. So while I'm waiting for everybody to warm up and ask questions, which is usually sometimes the case, I was wondering, I love the idea you want to market to the young people. And have you thought about going down a little bit below and start reaching out to high school? Because that's when that whole, you know, that the mind thinking starts to happen. And what have you started connecting with schools? I know your mom's a teacher. There are fairs. I know McLean High School is having a fair this Saturday. So have you thought about, you know, connecting that way?
I actually have not thought about going lower than college, and that's a wonderful idea. I love that. So I definitely want to take that into consideration, because I just went based on 20 to 30-year-olds because that's when I personally started my spiritual journey. So, but that's a very good idea. I've only connected with high schoolers that my mom has gotten me to meet. But that's a very good idea. If you could drop your information in the chat, then I would definitely.
Yes. Yeah. Landy High School, McLean High School. I know you have connections in all those places. They have fairs. I mean, there's like what, 1,000 students? No, 2,000 in each school. So that's a big one. Okay. So I'm going to ask Melinda. She always has amazing questions. And then I'm going to ask Ken next.
Excuse me, Mayosha, before Melinda begins, I'm sorry to interrupt.
I see.
But, I just wanted to mention to Donnell that everything is being recorded and the chat files are going to be available to you. So you don't have to worry about taking notes. And also, you should give short answers so that more questions can be asked. I apologize for the public address announcement.
Thanks, John.
So my quick question, so that everybody knows, is right now, how are you distributing? How are you marketing your line of clothing right now? Online, kiosks, trade shows, what types of things are you doing to do that?
So right now I have a Shopify website. That's how I sell most of my products. I also market in person. I go back to my my university a couple times a month, and I also market there. I just recently dropped a video, which is sort of a different approach type video. You can check that out on my Instagram as well. But I've been using mostly Instagram and Facebook.
So
Thank you.
Okay, that's fine. I'll come back later.
Okay, thank you, Melinda. Yeah, I'll circle back to you. I know that Ken is there, and then it's Rosemary, and then after Rosemary, it's Natasha. Ken?
Yeah, I am very, very impressed with your designs. That the design on the jacket that you showed is remarkable. Really, really great jacket. With the two people facing off on it, really great. And the way that it ties to your thinking and subject is just awesome. You had mentioned that your two of your four competitors are people that you know.
Yes.
And I was curious whether you guys are really competitors or whether there's an opportunity for a kind of collaboration. Because if they're ahead of you in their growth curve, they have things that you can do that they've done, that they know work. And I'm curious whether that's an opportunity for you to find a way to market, not necessarily exactly in your niche, but have you given that consideration, and are you still talking to your competitors?
You mentioned that are they really competitors? And in business, yes, but these are two of my one of them is really close to me. I was actually supposed to be in one of his pop-up shops on Black Friday, but I wasn't able to get enough product in so that I could do it. But I love the idea for collaborating with them. Yes, I'm definitely.
And more
approach that.
importantly, learning from them.
Yes.
If they've gone before you and they're being successful.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Ken. Rosemary, and then Natasha.
Thanks, Mayosha. So Donnell, fantastic presentation. It's not often that I hear Pythagoras talked about and Pythagorean theorem on a Wednesday morning. So thank you for exciting my little brain cells. The nerd in me got all excited.
Gotta take it back to 5th grade.
Oh man, yeah, and beyond. You're looking at someone who's forced to go through calculus at an early age. So couple questions for you. Your specific question, how do you determine what marketing strategies are most effective, begs a somewhat, I'll say structured, but sort of methodical approach to testing channels and seeing what responses come back. I'd be happy to help you set up something and I can share a template with you. But to sort of get you through here, I know you said you created a video, you're active on Instagram and Facebook, but for the market that you're looking to, have you gone down the TikTok route? Because your market is really on TikTok now. Your video you can chop up and use on TikTok. You can really drive, you can do an online pop-up since you have a Shopify site. And then what you can do is you can test sort of your messaging across those social channels, as well as working in actual conferences. So a lot of what you're talking about goes very well with, well, us old farts used to call it new agey stuff, but I'm sure it's called something different now. And with the world coming back into conferences, I'm sure you can find some conferences where folks who are very interested in living a more spiritual life will come together for books, for crystals. And in fact, a lot of those organizations can be your partnerships. So my contact information is in the chat, but you know, I'd be happy to connect with you after this to kind of give you a little template, just so you can see, create an offer, base it by channel, run a couple of messages by channel, see where you get the most traction, and then really shift your resources to focus on that channel a lot. Okay, great. I love what you're doing.
Thank you so much. Yes, please. And you said your information is already in the chat.
That is correct. It is in the chat.
And I have
Next,
another. Yeah.
yes. And next we have Natasha. After Natasha, we have John Rutenberg.
Hello, Donnell Jr., great job. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, great job. That was an excellent presentation, and I'll echo what everyone else has mentioned, where I really love how you have a meaning behind your company. And that will definitely niche you into finding your target market, because I own a product business as well. And my customers are drawn to the fact that we are niched into specific, organizations, and, they have specific logos that mean something special to them. So I will just talk to you about how one thing that you should definitely do is reach out to your current customers to request testimonials, video testimonials. Video testimonials are better than the written testimonials. That's number one. Number two, make sure you're using email marketing. One good great tool is Klaviyo. And I'm basically mentioning this to you because I just learned this myself for my business. So this is literally what I'm doing right now. I'm actually going to create a video to request video testimonials from my customers today. Make sure you use Klaviyo email marketing. And then the last thing was Facebook ads. Now, I've tried to do them on my own. I was unsuccessful, but I recently hired a company who grew their company to an $8 million business, just a couple of years ago. And so I will send you their contact information. They even have a podcast on how to grow your company, how to scale your company. And so I'll share all of that information. Great work, Danielle Jr.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Natasha. Next, we have John, and after John, we have Monica.
Thank you, Mayosha. And again, Donnell, fabulous presentation. So going back to your challenge question on best marketing strategies, the word marketing is very big, broad, and general. And so messaging is inside of marketing, just as an example, and all those kind of things. And I think in your messaging, quoting Plato and some of the references you made, because I wasn't listening in 5th and 6th grade when they were teaching us that stuff, but I have heard of Plato. It's the stuff was like molding clay, right? Plato. No, that's a different one. But Plato, but getting your message across and defining the right channels, I think, is where Rosemarie was going, which is really, really important. And so my question really, tell us your experiences on Instagram. What's changed in terms of numbers of followers, because that's on the spiritual side, you said. But you're generating buzz, if you will, in that community with Instagram. Seems to me those people become your logical targets for your clothing line.
Right.
So what are your experiences? Yes, sir.
So my experiences on Instagram, I started it about, I want to say 1 or 2 months ago. And I've been sending it in all my group chats. I've been posting on it almost every day. I gained about 120 followers. And so what I do is I'll create the post on TikTok. I post it on my TikTok, and then I'll move it to my Instagram as well. TikTok has a little bit better analytics, so I can see how the video does there. And then I have a business account on Instagram, so I can see a couple of analytics on that. The numbers are kind of low with interaction. I think it's because of I make like long informational videos, and they're not super long. They're like 3 minutes. So I've been thinking about shortening these videos a little bit, just so I can like grab the watcher's attention. But that's something else that I also need help on. But yeah, I get good interactions when I do post something from like the people who I know are gonna like it. That's been my experience so far.
So getting help and investing in your business, which is difficult when you're starting out, but real bucks, sadly or fortunately, it's important to the process. And getting someone who can help you so that you can focus on perhaps the details of messaging, because you know it better than anyone else, to reach that. Other people can provide the infrastructure you need because you can't do it on your own. And you have to focus on the things that are going to make you the most money and delegate the other stuff. Sorry for taking too much time.
Thank you, John. Next, we have Monifa. And after Monifa, we are going to Renata and back to Melinda.
Well, hello, good morning, Donnell Jr. and everyone. And I will follow and say that was an outstanding presentation. So with your challenge question, since you're new and trying to see and do different strategies, I say do it all and see what sticks. One thing I want you to think about is to get out there as much as you can, especially with pop-ups, conventions. I see you at yogi conventions, music festivals, where there are so many different types of people that'll really gravitate towards your brand. Talk to them, see what they're talking about, and especially the words they keep repeating. And then you'll kind of hone in on what kind of words to use in your print ads or even in your ads on social media, because people will search for those words. So for strategies, it's sometimes it's really getting out there and doing and talking to a lot of people, at different conventions, different pop-ups, and getting that fast market research right there and then zone in on what works. So are you planning on doing pop-ups and conventions?
Yes, I am. I'll actually be at the Veterans Grown America pop-up in Tampa on December 18th.
Mm-hmm. I think that's great. And then from there, I'm sure you'll do more pop-ups, but and especially with your target audience and at certain conventions, I really think you will hit home runs there. Thank you. That was great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Monifa. Next, we have Renata, and then we are back to Melinda.
Good morning, Donnell. Great presentation. And addressing your question of what marketing strategies would be effective. I think you really hit on it earlier when you spoke about doing videos. The one thing I would suggest is shortening them to anywhere from 15 seconds to 30 seconds so that you're grabbing people's attention as quick as possible. And telling your particular story is going to be the biggest thing, because your message behind your business is a very personally connected message. So you want to connect immediately with that personal message right up front when you speak to people. And the other is, like Monifa said, is definitely doing events. Your key skill is networking, and you have a personality that is very big, and it draws people in. So creating those personal networks is really going to be the key thing. And also getting in front of them, and whether it's video or podcasts, because another shift now is people are wanting to hear your voice in order to put a physical connection with their products as well. Great job, Donnell.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, we have Melinda.
I put a lot of my ideas in the chat, but I'll just talk about them very briefly. One of the industries that would be very helpful to you is the ad specialty industry. It's the industry that sells trinkets and trash, but lots of nice items too. And having a line of spiritual clothing in that industry that possibly you can logo with a corporate logo, and that's easy to set up as well, would get you lots of big orders and opportunities. In addition to that, I wrote down college bookstores and ambassadors. Maybe you have an ambassador on different campuses and you market to the college bookstores. And maybe you test it in Virginia with some of the schools that you're already familiar with. And then my other big idea is with kiosks, which we talked about earlier, putting them out in some of your pop-up locations. And I started thinking about the things that you could do and going back to the thought of Under Armour, since they already have sports clothing and they don't hit the spiritual market at all. You can bring that to Kevin. And then I started thinking about the kiosks because he owns the sportswear business in all of the stadiums across the country. What if in the stadium shops, they had a kiosk where they could order some of the spiritual, again, and maybe with a logo of the team. So it would be the Washington football team or whatever else it might be. So talk more on all of this stuff later. It's all in the chat and I tried to be brief. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Melinda. I'm waiting for a few more questions. And if you have already asked questions, do you mind putting your hand down unless you want to go back in again?
Natasha has her hand raised.
Right, she just spoke.
Okay.
But do you want to go again, Natasha?
No, sorry, I'm gonna put my hand down.
And Ken and Monica.
Yes, I have another question.
Okay, there we go.
So with strategies, a lot of people are self-aware of the spirituality, but what about the ones who are now getting into it? How can you help them identify with your brand that really don't know a lot, but are getting into it now?
I can help them identify. I'm in the process of developing a quiz that will go onto my website when they first enter it, so they can be matched with products that are good for them. Right now, the first method that I'm using for that is zodiac signs. So whatever zodiac sign you are is your hat. I'm a fire sign, so my fire hat would be perfect for me, which my dad has on. And then there's air signs, earth signs, water signs. And if you just encompass it all, if you're like the avatar, then you can go with this one.
I think that's really a great strategy. And I think that will pull in people that are now getting into it and don't understand it. So I do like the idea of if I took a little quiz. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have Rosemary and John Rutenberg.
Hey, Donnell. It's amazing to me, Manifa, that you brought that up. If you do have the money, I strongly recommend that you also run ads, Google ads, and there are 2 or 3 different daily astrology sites that also post ads. So to your point about fire signs, I'm an air sign. So air signs, water signs, all that good stuff. My sister's a water sign. So running ads on those kinds of very specific interest areas would be another opportunity for you to check whether or not, and since you have a straight drop into your Shopify, that might be a really good use of funds to test those channels. But the Google ads, you can tighten that up or loosen that up as much as you want to test that as well. And you can start testing messaging. You may find that things snap right away. You may also find that if you go back to your Instagram feed, when you develop your TikTok feed, your Facebook feed, there are words that are popping up that are being used in conjunction with your products, that you could start buying those search words in Google, so that when people are searching for things, and this is the time, right? Because people are looking for gifts to give other people. It's the start of a new solar year anyway. So people are looking to change things up and clear things out and kind of start the year on a fresh note. So I'll put it in the chat, but SEO and search engine marketing is probably a good idea for you at this point as well. You don't have to have a huge budget for it, but you can try it with just a few dollars.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And we have John Rutenberg.
Thank you again, Myosha. So when I look at your question and I think back to your your primary, secondary, and third markets. So take your primary market, where do they hang out? Where do they hang out? That's the channels you have to use. So first, write down the answer to that question. Okay. And from there, because that's the end goal, your goal is to reach that audience. And you know better than me, that's for sure, as to where that group hangs out. And that's where you need to devote your marketing time and your marketing dollars, marketing and sales, time and dollars, in my opinion. Not really a question, just a suggestion.
Thank you for that suggestion. That's
bet.
very good.
Thank you very much, John. We also have John Foster.
Thank you, Myosha. Donnell, love the presentation. I'm not going directly with your challenge question, but just a thought for you as far as maybe an audience to look at. And just because I'm involved in the food and vegan world, that there's a lot of, I think, audience out there for that, particularly tied to, the various elements. And then you can also that tie into sustainability as well, I think, to open up, open up that audience. So anyway, just a thought as far as tying that to the vegan and food world.
That I like that because the other day I was actually thinking of what if I did a cooking show, like a vegetarian or vegan cooking show? Well, I really like that idea.
Yeah, be happy to talk to you about it.
Yes, I will definitely reach out.
Yes, and Melinda has another question, and Marty also has put in a comment in the chat box, so we'll reach back out to Marty after Melinda.
So Danelle, I loved when I heard you said you could develop a survey. It got me thinking, and you've got your 5 levels of spirituality that you pointed out to us. This really sounds like a book, first of all, that you could write and talk about and elaborate, and really, you could do it as one of the fun, quick read books, and have a character that's going through all of these different things, and it could be you. You could call him DJ or something. I'm just thinking, but you could do a lot with it. The other part is this is a great conversation piece to open a door for you to start speaking to groups, and you can test it in the networking world, but it will get you to your TED Talk because nobody is doing anything like this. And if you base it on your 5 spirituality phases, or however you want to talk about that, you really have a solid business above a lot of what your friends are doing, because you can take all these steps, and you can also recognize people that are in different phases and talk about how you can work with people that, how do you work with somebody that's this sign? How do you work with somebody that's that sign? I mean, it can be used from the HR purpose of getting to know people around you, and a new modern way to look at people and learn to work with different types of personalities. It's huge, huge.
I love that you said that because I'm actually in the process of creating a guided journal for self-actualization. It's called, what did I call it? It's called More Than Just an Iceberg.
Oh, I love it, because that's your book. And then you build in all of this stuff, and it's the journey and all of the phases that now get integrated into what you're doing. It just put it all together for you.
Perfect. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Melinda. Marty, do you want to add something to the comment you made?
Yeah, so this is Marty Martinez, and one of the comments I have is you talked about the polls and the quizzes, and that's huge because when it comes to marketing, a lot of times people just throw out content and they hope that it's going to click. And what you have to understand is when you're looking at a funnel approach, people are coming somewhere in a funnel. It's a traffic climate, right? Top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel, and depending where they're at. If you're utilizing a quiz, that'll pique their interest if they know nothing about you. If they kind of know about you, then you can use polls. But this also will help you meet your customer, your avatar where they are with your content generation. And it also helps warm up that algorithm because people start to interact, and you turn it into where it is, hey, if you think this, hit a like symbol. If you think this, hit a whatever symbol. And then if you're doing a poll, don't forget to follow up to let people know what it is and give that insights. But this should also, you can take this and then put it into a CRM, a customer relations management system like Salesforce or HubSpot, and you can follow up with people. That starts your email list. That starts all that customer journey and where you're going to meet them at. So I'm Marty and I'm done speaking.
Thank you, Marty. Thank you.
Thank you, Marty. So that looks like we have, John, did you have something to add?
I
Okay.
have, yeah, thank you. Great job, Mayosha, by the way. That's a much harder job than being the MC. So Donnell, my question relates more to production because it's, you know, I don't know whether you have inventory or exactly the status, but one really important ingredient for success is to be able to deliver the goods, right? So your reputation is really based on the goods being of high quality and arriving within the appropriate time period. So where are you in terms of delivery / production? It's one thing to sell at a pop-up shop, you're walking in with inventory, but for online stuff, how is that going to be handled?
So right now I do get my my hats from a lady in China, but I'm working on getting a US based, like, so I can have just multiple different, because you know,
Manufacturers, producers.
Yeah, if another COVID happens, then I'm out of
Yes.
luck. But for my clothing, it's all drop shipped, so I'll never have anything on hand, and it comes right to the right to your house.
Beautiful, beautiful. And that would be whether you're doing a pop-up shop, so that's more like
That's for the online.
bonobos. I'm sorry, that's online.
Yeah.
How about in a pop-up shop? Are you going in with inventory?
Yes.
So, okay, okay. You know, are you familiar with bonobos? I think that's how
No.
you pronounce it. So, but bonobos is like, I don't know if it's women's, at least men's clothing, probably multi-uni, whatever. But anyway, they have stores where they don't really have inventory, but they have their full line. So you go in, and if you want to buy a shirt, they have the shirt in your size, so you can do the sizing. And within a couple of days, the 3 shirts you bought are drop shipped to you. Just a thought in terms of as you go forward in kiosks or whatever. That's doable. I mean, because you're already doing on the online side.
Yes. Thank you for that idea.
Sure.
Thank you, John. That is wonderful. So now we are going to circle back. I don't know, John Rutenberg, did you want to wrap it up?
Yes,
Or-
ma'am.
Well, actually, I have one more thing to say.
Yes.
So just for you guys listening, thank you so much. I have actually developed a coupon code for you all to use. It's going to be 1 capital M capital C UPS, 1MCups with a capital M and C.
Thank
But
you.
yeah, that's just one thank you. I'll give you guys a million thank yous, but thank you.
Can you put that in the chat?
Yes, Miss Rosemary just did
Yes,
that.
it's in the chat now.
Thank you, Donnell. That is wonderful. And what a generous offer.
So, Mayosha, thank you so much. Great job. Next slide, please. Donnell, to both Donnells, congratulations. I hope the senior Donnell is sitting there with and beaming.
Yeah,
He,
I have a question for the young man.
yes, sir, you sure do.
Oh,
don't
no.
you?
So Donnell, I'm extremely proud of you. Great presentation. You did a phenomenal job. But you don't get away with answering this question that everybody gets to answer. So what can the 1 Million Cups community do for you?
So the 1 Million Cups community, you guys can just continuously pour into me as you guys have always, or as you guys have done this whole time. Just give me support at the very least. If it's not buying a product or helping me on a new business route, then it's like liking a video, maybe following the page, just support. That's all I can ask.
Thank you so much. You did an amazing job. Please follow Donnell at thirdconscious.com. On his website, you can find his LinkedIn, well, not LinkedIn, but Instagram and all of his other pages. And follow him. So outstanding job. I'm super proud right now.
Should be.
Let's give him a round of applause.
Round of applause.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Next slide, please. So next week, and in the room today, Ken Portnoy will present Thayer Partners. So thank you so much for stepping forward. You've been a participant in 1 Million Cups for a very long time, and this is exciting for you, and we're excited to listen. So next week, same time, same station. Same link, Zoom link, right? Oh, that's a great picture, huh? So, Thayer Partners, next slide, please. In 2 weeks after Thayer Partner, next week is Insider, I believe is how Henry pronounces. Very interesting online platform. You'll learn more about it. Watch for emails. Please note on the holiday 2 weeks, we're not meeting. We do have an opening if someone wants to step forward and present January 5th. Otherwise, we'll have a unique and exciting meeting that day that will open it up for a bunch of breakout rooms and open forums. So with that, next slide. So we are looking to add organizers. And if you have any interest, feel free to speak to any of the organizers. Just so you know, it is really not a big time commitment. We do meet Monday mornings at 9 a.m. for 30 minutes, sometimes 40 minutes. Depends how much BSing we do. But putting that aside, we do, each organizer has her or his responsibilities, and we have to carry them out. But I work maybe a couple of hours a week because I'm involved in scheduling maybe an hour and a half. So it's not a huge commitment, but it is a great one, and it makes us deliver programs every Wednesday. So please consider it. Please join our team. Next slide, please. I mean, this is too big a list to read, so just take a moment and look at our partners and our friends in the community who are running various networking and educational programs over the next week or so, 12/1 to 12/15. Next slide, please. Is anyone from any of these groups here, by the way, who would like to say something?
Actually, I can comment about a few of them because I had Jennifer send them over to me from Central Fairfax. Some of the things to highlight is the Northern Virginia Black Chamber of Commerce is having their annual holiday party, which actually sounds like a lot of fun. It's a live party. And the Central Fairfax Chamber is having their holiday party. I believe it's on the 8th. I just have to find it on the list. Yeah, annual holiday mixer. And that's their holiday party. And that also, I believe, is live. She didn't tell me, so that's why it doesn't say it there. But there are a lot of really good things that are coming up. Those are two just to highlight real quickly. There's also a bunch of stuff going on in the Fairfax area over the weekend. So if you live up in that area, there are some holiday parties and other types of things. The Fairfax City Festival of Lights and Carols is Saturday. I know here in Alexandria, we're doing something very similar. They light the Christmas tree, I believe, this weekend. So there are a lot of things going on.
Thank you, Melinda. Next slide, please. This is the most important slide. This is the one where we as a group of organizers say, thank you. Thank you for showing up every week. Thank you for your ideas and for creating a safe, inclusive environment where even a shy guy like John Rutenberg can suggest different ideas or ask questions. So with that, we're at 10 a.m.
Wait a minute, one more.
So I open the discussion, but I also call our meeting